What's up? It's Duke for the Intimacy Liberation Army, and I am here to talk today about how you look at the world and whether you're making your life easy or difficult. I'm going to give you a couple of tips on how to make things flow and what your focus does. I'm going to do a little bit of a free flow today because the laptop, like the power's out, and because the fires and Edison has shut everything down. So we're doing battery lights and phone video, and so I can't look at all my notes and everything. So I'm just going to go talk. Anyway, I was listening to a video today from my first mentor, Jeff. Jeff and Owen actually both did videos on this in the last couple of weeks about how you can make life easy, how success is super easy if you let it be. And I was thinking about how that relates to self-awareness. Oh, check out Jeff's video here and Owen's video here. I was thinking about how this relates to what we're talking about this month on self-awareness. And very often there's a frame that you view the world, and we'll go deep into frames at some point on the channel. But there's a frame that you view the world where you see things through a particular lens or through a particular frame, where your truth is basically what you make it. What you focus on expands. That's how Tony Robbins puts it. And if you've ever seen somebody who's super negative and they're a victim and the whole world is out to get them and every situation is constantly victimizing them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, they're going to get more and more of what's going on in their mind. Like what they focus on expands, right? And there are other people who just can't seem to lose. Like they'll be getting opportunity after opportunity, making cool connection after cool connection, meeting the cool people after cool people, and going on project after project, and they don't ever seem to lose. And what they're focusing on is also expanding. I don't have a choice. I focus on a lot of cats. Anyways, but we're talking a lot about being aware of your emotions, their triggers, and what behaviors you choose after you get triggered by a certain situation or environment. Ideally speaking, when you're fully self-actualized, your environment should just sort of be an extension of your mentality and your mindset. Not that your ego needs to control everything around you, but on the other side where your experience and your translation of the experience in your head match each other, right? Like your perception is as close to reality as you can be, right? And that's the crux of the whole fully self-actualized, not being affected by anything around you, is because you have proper expectations based on your experience of reality, your reference experiences, and your ability to learn. And the more self-aware you are on your emotions, your triggers, your values, etc., and how it's been banging up against the reality in the world over the last times you've used it, all the reference experiences that you created, the better off you're going to be in accurately predicting the situations and how you're going to respond, right? There's always going to be suffering. There's always going to be bullshit in life. People are going to die. People are going to betray you. People are going to take you. Like every business owner I've known who's had any success in business has had a business partner steal a bunch of money from them. That's just how it works. And I don't know why. It just seems to happen. So I began to, as I came up, I began to prepare for that. And lo and behold, even though I wasn't focused on it, one of my business partners actually tried to use me a bunch, and I saw it coming. And then I ended my business relationship with him. Didn't think he was a bad guy necessarily, but didn't want to do business with him anymore. And I moved on, and I recovered my losses, and I kept moving. And then some other things happened as I was getting the channel up going. People stole a bunch of my camera gear or whatever, and I had to start over. And it created a lot of environments in my life. But I sort of expected the reality of the situation to give me some problems, and I was just going to do it anyway, right? Like today, like there's no power in the house. There hasn't been for almost 24 hours. And all the batteries on everything is dying. And I just decided I'm going to work out with a little LED light in there. And then I'm going to shoot a video. And so that's what I'm doing. And Leon is here because I forgot to shut the door. Leon, say hi to the audience. Yeah, you're going to be famous later, Kat. Watch. There's only 400 people in the audience, but later on it's going to be thousands, so say hi. Okay. So anyway, we're talking a lot about self-awareness. We got a lot of exercises, a lot of things. A couple of days ago we did like daily practices that do that increase your self-awareness and realize your emotional intelligence and how you're responding to people around you. Yesterday we talked a bunch about how to determine if you are lacking self-awareness in your relationship by the way that you're treating your partner. And there's 10 tips in there. If you haven't seen it, click. But what I want to talk about today, because I got prompted by Jeff and Owen's stuff, is your vision of the world determines how you experience it. And very often we have, childhood trauma or negative reference experiences or things that happened in our childhood or throughout the entirety of our, like, if you have problems with dating and you have limiting beliefs on it, maybe you've dated 4 or 5 times and they all turn out poorly. I was on a podcast, no, I was on a coaching call with my fitness coach, and I'm his dating coach. We actually, anyway, we don't. It's a weird relationship. I've been friends with him I came up in jiu-jitsu with him. I've been friends with him for 20 years, but he was saying that like he can't remember having a positive experience through all the girls that he's dated, and he's probably had 7, 8 sexual partners and a handful of relationships, and he can't remember anything good about any of those relationships. He thinks that dating is hard and dating is difficult. Putting himself out there is dumb. And so he actually hired me to kind of help him fix his dating life because he knows that he needs to go out and meet people and set standards and have values and all that stuff. But he's just been focused on his business. And so we were talking about that. And I was just like, yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't have to be hard, right? Like you can just go out and meet people. And then if you know what your standards are, you can not let people in who are going to hurt you in the way that you've been hurt before, right? Like you don't have to make it some big deal. You don't have to make it a big old thing where, oh no, now I have to get up. One of my students, every time, because he's super OCD, like he's on like a bunch of meds and whatever to deal with his anxiety. And every time he goes out to go talk to girls because he wants to practice, he has to like do this half-hour routine to amp himself up. And I teach that a lot, especially when guys who aren't used to it. Put the right music on and think good thoughts and visualize success and go over a couple of the lines you want to say and maybe watch some things for inspiration, like cold approach videos on YouTube or whatever, and go out and talk to some girls. But I didn't mean for him to make it a everyday half-hour fully structured thing, because sort of throws you right back up into your head if you just make it a chore every day, right? But that's what he's focused on. And lo and behold, his current goals of talking to 1 new girl a day is just this big, massive, monumental obstacle that, for him, he feels like he gets a lot of dopamine because he feels like he said what he's going to do, then he does it, right? And he's kind of at the beginning stages of approaching for practice. But he's been training a long time, and he should be further along than he is, I think. But he has to make it this big old thing, and whenever he does it, he gets that rush, that ego rush, where it's like, okay, I did it, right? And he's so satisfied with himself. And he made this thing where it's like a big old deal. And then when he conquers it, he's a big old man for conquering the big old deal. And that's fine, except for the fact that, results and process don't really play into that. You're just sort of setting up, straw men and then taking them down, burning them down. Like it's approaching 1 new girl a day isn't going to fix your dating life, right? It's going to be a lot better than approaching no girls a day. It's going to be a lot better than not getting out of your house and meeting new people. It's going to be a lot better than not having that top of mind and going out and doing it. Like, it's better than nothing. But if you want to do rock star crazy ass results, you have to do rock star crazy ass shit. And like Jeff says, if you want to be a gangster, you got to do gangster shit. Like, I was training with this guy. What was his name? DJ Fuji. He was this short Asian dude. Well, it's not really short. He was, normal height Asian dude. Big old mohawk back in the day, back in 2003 or whatever, when I was training with him. And he would go out and he was like military about it. He was just like 45 approaches a week, 25 at least. If you don't do that, you don't mean shit. And he's just like, when you go out, fucking 20 approaches a night, da 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 da. Just hammer it on you. And while doing things rote for no good emotional reason doesn't get a lot of results right away. Sometimes that's what it takes to get you out of a rut, to get you out of the idea that, oh, okay, I can just save it for tomorrow, or I'll just do 2 tomorrow, or whatever, and then falling off and not maintaining consistency. Like, the reason I'm shooting this video in the dark with battery lights right now is because I don't want to lose momentum, right? Like this quality video may be not as much quality as the other ones that I have scripted out and had the laptop in front of me and all that stuff. But I have a sneaking suspicion it's the same amount of meandering, but whatever. But the fact that I'm shooting this video and uploading it over mobile data tonight means I don't break my streak, and I continue the momentum, and I'm going to continue to do the videos all year. I have these big old plans to release a whole shit ton of content and leave everything on the table so that I can move into more executive coaching and team coaching and stuff next year. And so I don't want to stop that process at all, because then I'll just be putting a pause on all my big old dreams, leaving a legacy here. Plus, if I get hit by a bus or Leon murders me in my sleep, I want to have left something out in the world before I die, right? I want to have things that people can come back to, a sort of legacy in content, so to speak. So I just kept going, and I just found a way to do it. I got this battery light. There's one thing left. There's one little power bar left. Oh, yeah, one little power bar left, and that'll get me through tonight, and I'll charge it in my car tomorrow. If this continues, because apparently this fire thing's supposed to be for another 3 days because of the wind. Anyway, so there are people who look at life like everything's got to be super hard. And there are people who look at life that everything's got to be super easy. There are domains of my own expertise where I just consider things super easy. Like, I've been, in 1996, I started a company with my friend Mo. And I think he's a pastor now, or DJ, or both. But in 96, we started a company called, I forget what it was called, Jesus Christ. Packet Collision Studio, I think. And it was a web design company, and we were designing commercial websites for people who were like real old people who wanted to be internet savvy in 96, right? And so this is Netscape Navigator 2, JavaScript, it was before it was ECMA script, the standard, like, it was like old school, and we would just bring things up and optimize the images and compress them to GIF, and I was 17 years old, and I started web development then, and I got a career in that, and I built my way up to solutions architect, Microsoft certified, fucking all this shit, and I got to this top of the industry to the point where I was running like, ads for national tire chains, and because I was working in the automotive industry, and it was great. Like, I learned all this stuff, but now, like, I had a buddy hit me up last week, wanted me to do his website, and it was for he wraps cars, right? He puts vinyl on cars, and so I took like 3 looks at his website, and I looked at the prototype he had built. And I was like, yeah, it'll take about 3 hours. Here's your invoice, and I will be done by the end of this week. And, like, it's just easy. Like, I have so much reference experience in web development. Like, I can just bang out a decent-looking website with reasonable SEO, and, it's optimized enough to be fast and, searchable and all that stuff, right? The SEO is going to kind of suck if I don't learn how the AI is scraping, but that's a new thing. Everything's easy. Like in web dev, like, there's virtually nothing. Like, you want me to design a logo? Yeah, it takes me a little bit longer than an actual designer, but I've been doing that for so long that I can just sort of come up with something that works, right? I know how to use vector software. I know how to do all that stuff, right? And so for me, like, somebody asked me to do a website, somebody else would be like, oh no, that's going to take me like 3 weeks. I got to do some research and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, yeah, I know exactly what I'm going to do here. I've done this a million times. And, the things that I've done in the professional world are, leading teams to do massive applications that are, 180 times bigger than this, right? And so for me, web development is easy. Even a reasonably large site with like lots of SEO and stuff, like I can just kind of bang it out, and I'm using the new AI tools to help me code, and I'm using like it just dovetails in. I've mastered it. I've spent over 10,000 hours in it, right? And it's just easy, and like no, I don't stress out at all um, about web development, right? Or HTML, CSS, JavaScript, any of that shit, React, like I can do it. And I don't have this thing in my mind where it's hard, right? And yeah, I put the requisite experience in. It took a lot of work, but I mastered it. And same thing with public speaking. Now, I could be a public speaker, a better public speaker, obviously. Like I could take out more filler words. I could speak more slowly. I could put more emotion when I'm talking. When I'm on stage, I execute more of that stuff than I do sitting in the office and talking to the camera. But I could be a much better presenter on YouTube. I could, make sure I focus on the timbre of my voice and get you really involved and tell my stories with more whatever. Yeah, there's definitely things I could do. But I will tell you that I'm not stressed out. Like, I came in here, I plugged the microphone in, I turned the light on, I started talking, right? Like I don't do, I have to get everything right, and oh my god, the shadows in the back, and because I did all that. Like when I started Pickup Daily, I shot a full year every day of videos, just talking about answering questions about dating and pickup, and I got a team of guys coming, Lendy from Social Q Nation and Dio from Dio Lopez Style and Masculinity Style or whatever it was, and we all just fucking cranked, and every day I was like, oh my god, my sound's fucked up. Oh my god, my microphone levels isn't high enough. Oh my god, the wind's too much. It's blowing into the windscreen. Oh my god, the lights aren't right. Oh, my face looks washed out. Oh, there's reflections off my glasses. And I was just so nitpicky about every single little thing. And what it did is, when I got done with that year, I didn't really get burnout, but I was like, okay, that project needs to stop, and we need to do something else, right? And I did a bunch of Instagram shit after that. But what I realized is, like, all of that little idiosyncratic worrying about shit made me not be consistent, right? Because every video that I make this year is going to be marginally better than the ones I made before. And by the end of this year, I'll have a lot of iterations to get much better. Next week, I actually have a plan. I'm looking at the book that doesn't exist here, my little notebook. I have a plan to start editing, right? Like, I've been just releasing these videos with no cuts, edits, just straight through. And there's a lot of me running off and doing bullshit with my speech, and a lot of filler words, and a lot of no camera angle shifts, none of that stuff. And we did a lot of that back in those days. And so I know how to do it. And I just decided that for the first couple weeks of the year, I was just going to shoot videos, get consistent, get my fucking thing moving forward. And for me, this is easy. Like, I spent 15 years professionally as a dating coach, understanding all these concepts, and I'm constantly inspired by all of my old coaches and all the new people on YouTube that are talking about this stuff. I'm still a nerd about. I watch a lot of Dr. Orion Taraban recently, and not that his concepts are new, but he delivers it so well. He's an excellent storyteller, and so I've been into that, and I'm constantly inspired by all the people around me making content, and I'm reasonably confident in my ability to deliver good content, and as well as all the technical aspects. So I just turn the camera on and I go, and then I upload, and then I put a title on it, and then I plan to do all the description and sales shit later. And for me, the YouTube journey this year is easy. Like, I am going to continue to iterate, continue to get better, and by the end of the year, you'll see, like, the videos are going to get edited, there'll be B-roll, there'll be interviews with cool people that I can share their audience with, and all this other stuff. Like, they're all in the plans, right? But it's easy. Like, it's a foregone conclusion that I'm just going to grow my audience, and I'm going to provide a lot of fucking value, and I'm going to leave a lot of fucking legacy. And it's going to link back to the blog, which is going to have a lot of fucking resources so that people can actually fix their dating lives and get themselves out of the hole that they've dug themselves by playing small and not living, right? And that's really my end goal. Like I was listening to Hermosi today, and he was talking about like I started the podcast 6 years ago, and I just kept doing. It's the actions that matter, not the goals, because everybody has goals. And I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of fucking sense. Hermosi's video, but yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna shoot a video every day and iterate it and get better. And I'm gonna release a book a month. That's the goal for the year. And I'm seeing this whole path as easy. Like it's just there, right? I'm self-aware enough to know that I have visualized all the things that triggered me. Like, oh, before when I have to turn the video camera on, oh, is the lighting right? Is the thing right? Okay, the lighting's good enough. You don't really need to see my face that much, right? I can move it over here so it doesn't reflect my glasses off. Now I have a dark side because the other light isn't on, right? Like I can go over here. I don't know. Like it's good enough. I don't care. And is my content clear enough? No, it's not. But if you see me in person, I am going to change your fucking life. Like if you came to my live event or you came to one of the events we do with Limitless, we're doing a bunch this summer. We're doing Cyprus and Ibiza and Croatia, split Croatia over the summer. And if you come to one of these events, I will fucking change your life. I know this because I've been doing this for years. I have so many positive reference experiences, and I will just dig to the deepest part of your soul and find what makes it tick and unravel the things that are limiting you. I can do that, right? And I do it in a full ADHD, crazy ass, too many things, information overload way. And if you connect with me, you'll connect to the video content, right? So that's kind of how I justified it. I was like, look, I'm pretty good at coaching, and so I don't think my videos are going to lack value just because I keep rambling on a bunch of different tangents. And like I said, it's something I'm going to iterate and keep getting better at. And like I said, end the year, you'll see, like I'll be much more precise, much more targeted, much more, the titles will be much more clickbaity and deliver a lot more value because I plan on iterating. But that process for me, the way that I've planned it, is easy. I'm not like, oh my God, am I good enough to do this? Yes, I am. Can I get better? Yes, and I intend to. But like, I'm just going to do it. Like it's going. And I'm going to talk myself into it. It just is easy. And it's because I'm self-aware enough to know that all the things that have happened in the past that have stopped me from making this journey of epic content creation, I addressed them. I addressed them in December before I planned to do this year. That's why I didn't start in November or December last year, is because I was like, okay, January 1st is going to be a good time because of the New Year's and the resolution and all that stuff to pull the trigger and make this shit happen. What do I need to clear out? What do I need to let go of? What insecurities and bullshit do I need to let go of in order to execute this and make this easy? And then I made a plan. And I looked at all the books that I had written and not released yet on my hard drive. And I was like, okay, well, I can make all the video content deal with these subjects. I can build up landing pages and all that stuff. I know, right? And I was going to do it, execute, and it's easy. End of the year, I will have created a shit ton of content. Am I going to make a shit ton of money? I don't know. But the process is going to be easy and not stress me out. That's really the thing. And so all that to say is your level of self-awareness, it dovetails a lot with your like performance confidence, as Ross Jeffers used to say. Like if you just do something a whole bunch of times and then you're reasonably sure you can handle and calibrate to anything that comes up, is like the dead simple, not simple, what is it? It's like, it's the most guaranteed way to do shit. You do 1,000 approaches, you do 3,000 approaches, you will not be afraid of women anymore. As long as you don't keep telling new stories. Like you'll have gone down all the rabbit holes and found all the scary demons in all the closets and under all the beds in the entire house. And you'll have the idea that you can navigate that house without getting eaten by monsters. Right? Tyler Owen Cook used to say in his original content that life is like a video game with no save feature. There's like Alien versus Predator had no save feature. So you would go out and You shoot your way through level 1, and then you die in level 2, and then you fucking get so good that you die in level 3. And by the time you got to the end, big boss alien, you would be able to play level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in your sleep, because you know where every fucking alien's gonna pop out. You know where you could speed run the thing, right? And that's performance confidence. You fucking like Ross says, performance confidence. Like, you do it enough, it's like you're guaranteed to fucking win at some point if you just keep grinding. But with that performance confidence, where do I want to go with that? Okay, with that performance confidence, it makes it really easy to make life easy, right? You put fucking 10, 15 years into some shit, like with web development, like 97, like that's almost 40 years, bro. 30 years. 30 years, right? Like, fuck. No wonder it's easy, right? Pickup. I started in 2007 with RSD team, right? I signed on to be their intern and their whatever. I stuck with them for 4 years, trained with Jeff, trained with Owen, trained with Todd, trained with, what's his name? That guy. He's not around anymore. Little Spanish guy. I forgot his name. Anyway, did all that stuff. Then worked as a dating coach for the Attractive Man, which is the second biggest company in the industry, right? Became their head coach. Did 6 years of that. Trained a bunch of coaches under me, right? Like, now going through and coaching pickup is not a problem for me. Like, it's just super easy, right? Now, performance confidence can make that happen. Problem with performance confidence is you have to perform a bunch in order to build that level of self-awareness, right? It's the slowest but the most guaranteed way to handle the making life easy, right? That's the point I wanted to make. It all comes, don't put your tail on the microphone. It all comes down to what you focus on expands. I don't focus on all the little idiosyncratic problems of YouTube shooting, of web design, of pickup, because I've done it so much. And so the problems don't exacerbate. The opportunities grow. The opportunities fill my vision. All the things I can do. And my problem is more filtering and prioritizing than it is coming up with ideas. Like, I have probably 25 books I want to write about different subjects that solve very specific problems. And they're all long, right? Like, this whole series on self-awareness, I've planned out all the days of the videos. And I'll probably have to add a bonus or something because this one wasn't planned. And the book that comes after this is like 200 pages long, right? And the online course that goes with the book, right? And I've got a bunch of those in me. I've probably got 2 or 3 years of those in me. And content's not the problem. Coming up with ideas is not the problem. Figuring out what to say is not the problem. It's figuring out what I should say, how succinctly I should say it, and how fast I can get it done so I can keep moving to the next one. And so the core concept of what you focus on expands. If you're focused on all the limits that you have, and all the victim mentality that you have, and all the ways the environment or the universe or the people around you, how it's their fault that you're where you're at and doing what you do, that will continue to expand and prove itself true to you. Like Neville Goddard says, everything is you pushed out, right? Everything is the mirror, right? You can't go change an image in the mirror. You have to change the thing that's reflected, right? You change you, then you change what you see, right? That's how it is. So if you focus on how limiting and how crazy and how hard, you make it so difficult, and it's like you just got a hero's journey your way through your future goals. That's exactly what's going to happen. The biggest monsters are going to come out. The biggest chasms are going to be there. The uncrossable. If you want to be the hero, then you're going to find the most dastardly, dangerous, treacherous things to go over. And at the end of the day, you will suffer for it. You will. Okay, you got to stop rubbing your tail on the microphone. It makes a bad experience. You will suffer. You will come out with wounds, right? You will come out crippled by your journeys, and you'll wear those as badges of honor, because that's what you're focused on. But if you just looked at life like, man, what can I do next? That project should be pretty quick. We can always grow it and iterate later. Let's fucking get it out there. That's what you'll focus on. I mean, that's what will grow. If you're focused on that. Right? Did I restart the video when I realized that Leon was going to be in the shot? No, I didn't. I just kept talking. And Leon is now part of the legacy. Isn't that right, Leon? Yeah. No. Just let it be easy. And the opportunities will go. After this, I will stop this, upload it to YouTube, get my little comments and all the people who are the new subscribers that have started to happen in the last couple of days. And then anybody ask me questions on the email or the DMs from Instagram, I will start answering them. And that will dovetail nicely into the live stuff that I'm planning on doing later this month after I do all the editing, right? It's just going to be easy, man. Like, it really is. Now, caveat. Is it going to be easy if I didn't know what the fuck I was doing? Yes, it could. Because I'd be performing at the level that I was at. Right? I have a pretty high level of this content creation thing. It's not high considering, like I'm not Mr. Beast or whatever, but like I'm a lot of things like script writing and ideation and the technical aspects of putting things on YouTube and all that. Like all that stuff I got handled, right? And I can only get better. So that's where I'm going with that. Oh, yeah. But if, like, going back to Pick Up Daily, right? Back in 2012, 13, 14, when we were starting the YouTube thing, every single little thing was, and I could have just been like, just put it out there. And I did for a year. And guess what? There's a year's worth of content there about my ideas at the time that are kind of frozen in time over there. I've grown a lot since then, but it's there, and consistently new viewers and new links to the blog post they link to and all that stuff, right? Like the stuff that I did for The Attractive Man is still on the channel and still probably makes them money. I think they cut me off the affiliate side, but whatever. It's something of note and of value that's out in the world that if I had stopped myself, I wouldn't have gone, right? And it was at the level that it was at. There are some things I look at my old videos and I'm like, oh man, I did not think a damn thing about preparation. Like I just sort of turn the camera on, talking, but it's out there, and a lot of people have seen them, and some people, I ran into people in the wild where they're like, oh my god, that one video, it changed my fucking life. Right there, like minute 6, you did this thing, and I'm like, I don't even remember that fucking video, but you're welcome, dude. Like, and that did a lot more impact than me sitting around jacking off to my laptop by myself before I go in and play video games, right? I'd rather be doing that shit. So, that's what I had to say about that. Let it be easy. Look at what you focus on expands. If you look at life as a sea of opportunities and things that are exciting and following your bliss into the future of creation and generativity, then that's what you're going to get out of life. You're going to get all the opportunities. Yes, you will also get suffering, but you're going to get a lot of opportunities. But if you look at life as something you have to defend against and something you have to fucking grind super hard against and you just got to sacrifice everything to get, that's exactly what you have to do. You'll have to sacrifice everything to do. You'll have to sacrifice everything to get. You'll have to go through your hero's journey. You have to face the biggest monsters, and it's going to be miserable, and you're going to hurt yourself. And that might be your journey, and that's okay. But understand that there's a choice. And what you focus on expands. Let it be easy. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have the lights back on tomorrow. Leon may join me tomorrow anyway, since he's such a good camera cat. And I'll see you then. Until then, stay awesome.